Breaking. A giant asteroid will skim Earth's orbit tomorrow, and experts warn it could obliterate the country. Well, that was the tweet from News for All UK. The Sun were about as catastrophic, although slightly more witty, with a headline saying, "Rocky horror. Giant asteroid will skim Earth's orbit tomorrow in hair-raising near miss." Except it's not horror, it's not going to obliterate the country, it's nowhere near us. So let's explain. Asteroid Nereus is an asteroid. And today, 11th of December 2021, it will be at a close approach for an asteroid. It'll be about 3.9 million kilometres away from Earth. And it's its closest point of approach, the nearest distance to Earth, for quite a while. It'll come back round and be closer in about 2060. As a comparison though, the Moon is only around 380,000 kilometres away, so this thing is about 10 times further away than the Moon. My hair is still sadly unraised. So why the panic then? Why the expert warning? The actual experts have set up this idea of a potentially hazardous object, a PHO. These are defined as being fairly bright, which indicates they will likely be quite big, and fairly close. If you want more sort of numerical, it's an absolute magnitude of 22 or brighter, and a minimum distance of where our orbits intersect of 0.05 astronomical units, or about 19.5 times the distance between the Earth and the Moon. The point is they might be hazardous when you think in the long term. Earth orbits once a year, as you probably know, and these orbits tend not to be massively far from that. So a few hundred orbits time, they could become dangerous, especially if you're talking about the interesting effects of gravity in systems with a large number of massive bodies. Their orbits change slightly, adjust slightly, and in the far future these things might become a problem. What this means is that the net for potentially hazardous objects is kept broad. It's much better to label a safe object of potential danger by mistake and keep an eye on it than to ignore a dangerous object. The experts aren't mad or fear-mongering, they just have a sensible long-term view. The big problem is this: the news stories about this, for example the article in The Sun that I mentioned at the start, can hide behind the fact that they do eventually mention that it won't hit Earth today, and that the experts are less doom-mongering than the headline suggests, before they then go back to pleasuring themselves at the thought of the carnage it would cause if it hit the UK. But here's the thing, the headline gets seen far more often than the article is read. And guess what? More people read the start of the article than the full thing. You can guarantee that a large number of people will see the article, think something on the lines of bloody experts always threatening doom and gloom, and go on with their day. I mean, the other point of this is there's an annoying journalistic habit for the headline writer to be a different person than the one who writes the article. I don't know if that's the cause of this particular stupidity, but it is frustrating. And it's really frustrating because, I don't know, eventually experts might actually want to threaten that something bad might happen. Like, I don't know, this virus turned up in China and it looks pretty sus. And when you do that, you have to deal with a population who has, to borrow a phrase, had enough, and don't give a flying toss about the views of experts, because this is the expert that you've got. So there's your misery. The Earth is fine, just hope nothing actually dangerous does happen, because it's then that you're fucked.